said you weren't going to worry about the scoreboard, Don, or the result or winning on that, but what did you worry about in the end?
Well, probably we were working mainly on our method and opportunity for our young guys, to be honest. My snapshot of the game was I thought our first half was pretty good. It was a fairly torrid opening and tight opening, given the ground, if you like, and it was quite tight out there. And I thought in the second quarter we got on top and sort of was how we want to play. And then probably midway through the third quarter we lost a fair bit of control of the game, mainly around the contest, which, to the players' credit, with 5 minutes to go, they found a way. And I said, winnings wasn't the be-all, end-all today, but it's always nice to come on the positive side of the ledger.
Was that third quarter about changes you'd swung or Fremantle?
Oh, a combination. It's always difficult when you've got 8 on the bench because it's often you can go through, you get just a rotation that happens where you might have a younger squad against a more experienced squad. So I didn't look at it in that detail. For me, we just went away from the things we were doing really well in the second quarter. And to Freo's credit, they took that opportunity and grabbed some real momentum.
You talk about opportunity for young guys. What message is Murphy giving you?
Yeah, he's today shown that he's capable of playing at the level, which is all he can do. He can only control what he can control, which is play as well as he can, and he brought a real energy and spark, I thought, to our forward half. So it was a good day for Murph.
Can you see him being in your thoughts for round one if he?
Well, if he continues to play like that, he's going to give himself a fair chance. Yeah.
It's a great story, isn't it? Like coming through the sample development squad and stuff like that.
Yeah, he did. He came across last year and sort of took a bit of a punt to move across and play in the sample team. And when we rookied him, late last year, he sort of saw this as a great opportunity. I mean, he missed out on the draft for 2 years, and having come across and played, and we sort of thought, given our list and where we're at, and probably a need for a small forward / back, we played a bit of back last year, and he's just put his shoulder to the wheel and said, well, here I am. I'm going to find out if I can play AFL footy. So that's exciting for him.
Bryce Gibbs, pretty impressive debut today.
Yeah, no, it was good to get Bryce out playing and playing with the guys as well. That sort of connection that he gets with the ruckman and the other mids is important. So those minutes are important for Bryce.
How do you assess the defence as a group?
Yeah, well, we had, with no Talia and Hardigan out there, there's a good opportunity for Tom Duda. I thought did some nice things. Andy Otten was really solid. Cole Cheney, I thought all of them were pretty solid. I mean, they didn't benefit at times from a fair bit of supply in that last half, which made it a bit harder for them. But I thought as a whole they held themselves pretty well.
What did numbers show on those key indicators you like?
Contested-wise, we were going pretty well until I think at the start of the last quarter we dropped off significantly, which again, you start losing, especially on a ground like that where it's you're one possession away from being inside your back 50. Well, I think the 6-0 out of the CB in the last quarter, which just hands field position straight away to Fremantle, and then you are on the defensive. So that was probably the one stat towards the end, which was probably killing us a bit. And as I said, to the players' credit, they could turn it around and get the win.
Too hard to judge your forwards when it's a
it was a difficult day from a forwards viewpoint because there just wasn't the space to be able to move the ball. You probably saw a few times we'd have the ball and guys would be looking for options that would normally be there on a slightly wider or longer ground where there might be a bit more gap between the arcs or a bit more width to operate in. It was probably just a down the line, kick it to a contest type game, and you didn't have to get too far dislinked from the other forwards and find that there were guys dropping off. So it wasn't an easy day for forwards.
Is it good for you because it becomes almost an SCG moment for you to prepare?
Well, it becomes a different. We spoke about it before the game and said, well, this is going to be a different experience because it's going to be tight, it's going to be contested, and it's going to mean that there's not probably the space to maybe use the ball. So it created a different set of challenges. But I thought we adapted pretty well majority of the time. But at times we were probably guilty of a bit of overuse trying to find a free player. But it's always hard because we've trained him a certain way, and then you come and play on a smaller ground that just. It means adapting it is not always a perfect science.
How'd you handle the one runner?
Yeah, it was okay. I mean, it's probably, especially with 8 on the bench, it's a little bit harder because you've got massive rotations going, and so it's like anything. The more players you got going out there, necessarily the more confusion that can happen because of the fact that if you're making any changes with 6 on at one time and 6 off, I was down there for a couple of quarters and it was just people going left, right and centre, to be honest.
Is that why you left it?
No. I just decided I'd spend a couple of quarters down there today to see how it all operated. But it was good experience down there. Just see how they're communicating with each other, they're messaging what they're seeing from the ground.
So what happens next? Port Adelaide, Albert and over.
Yep.
Have you got in mind the block of players you want to play? Do you know how close you are to what that lineup is?
We'll build towards that. We've got a game. We're going to have a game next week, so we'll play next Saturday. Next Saturday morning, we have an intra-club game, which will open up to fans and members, which is an opportunity for them to come and have a look. But we're keen to have another solid hit out. The way it worked out with our prep is after the AFLX is we did some match sim that following Saturday, but I think we need another run. So we plan to have another full run next Saturday morning.
Footy Park?
Yeah, it should be at Amy.
Some of those guys that missed today, like Cole Hardigan and Tully, you expect them to play next
week?
Or?
And that's the importance is we get guys who didn't play today, and that's Kyle, Daniel, Rory, Eddie, Richie Douglas, guys who didn't play, probably a couple of other guys who didn't, an opportunity to play a full game before we have our final JLT.
How much deeper do you reckon your midfield rotations are this year?
How much, sorry?
Deeper. How many more?
For us?
Yeah.
We want to keep building in that space. We saw today, Hampton came in. I thought Pyke did some nice things early. And Cam Ellis-Yeoman returned after a year out as well. So, it's important, and we want to have guys who can go through there. We also want guys who can go and play other roles as well, forward or outside on wings and things. So we're trying to keep building that flexibility.
What did you make of Gibson's game today?
It was okay, I think. It was hard. Again, a tough day for wingers because there's just not the width to operate in, and in terms of their running, you sort of get a bit restricted. So I think all the players reported you're either almost in the chain or you weren't. There wasn't this chance where it sort of changed. Changed the ball, sort of shifted direction too often. So it was a fairly straight line game.
Is that what you had to be a bit more creative? Like there was that time when Lynch was coming off the back of the square. Was that something you wanted to try, or was it the ground dictated that?
It's a bit of what we were trying to do from some of the structural things. Okay. That was just again getting the guys ready for options we want in season.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.